Listen, we just lost 3-1 to Liverpool at home. Do you want to break it down for us?
Yeah, look, we started well. I'll be honest with you, we started well. It was some of the best football I've seen for the first 5-10 minutes. Again, the first half for me comes down to not being clinical. That's where I'd be focusing my attention on in the first half. We just weren't clinical enough. We didn't take our chances. But then that goal is inexcusable.
Yeah, but how many big chances did we have? I mean, we had the Son chance. He tucked that away really nicely. Having Wi-Fi issues here. Not Wi-Fi issues. That's another game. Have some of those as well. All right, Dave, let's start that one again. So we lost 3-1. What went wrong? Was it the fact that we didn't take our chances, or what else was there?
John, it's a disaster from start to finish. Let's be honest. Like I was saying, the first 5 to 10 minutes we played great football. It was some of the best football I've ever seen. But look, you have the goal that was ruled out by VAR. That's why I call them Liverpool. VAR is in their name. I'm sick of it. It's what won them the league last year. I'm absolutely sick of it. Right? And then you have the Son chance. He should have buried it. How many times have we sat here, ruined, missed chances?
He did bury it.
No, the second chance he had. That Alisson.
Yeah, he scuffed it. He scuffed that. Yeah, he scuffed that chance. Yeah.
Yeah, like he should be burying it. How many times have we sat here rooting his chances? He buries that with 1-0 up. We take the game from there. We miss it, right? So. And then we've had so many breakaway chances where the final ball was just poor. And then you started seeing the individual mistakes coming in at the back with Doherty with his shit passing. I'm sick of this guy. I've had enough of him now. I really have, to be honest with you. Yeah, like, we brought him in. I bigged him up. I've tried to help the guy. And all he's done is let me down. All he's done is piss me off and let me down. It's not good enough. And then,
what does he bring? What does Doherty actually bring? What's he an improvement on that we haven't had before? I don't get it.
No, he brings a name on the back of the shirt. That's it. He offers nothing else. He's like, to me, I was hyped up. I thought he had a very good campaign with Wolves, and that's why we bought him. But he's done nothing. He's just not cut out to be at the top level. He's not a winner.
He's a poor man. He's a poor man's Alan Hutton, isn't he?
Yeah. I would actually rather Alan Hutton. That's how bad it is.
Alan Hutton. I'd much rather Alan Hutton, definitely.
Yeah, no, it's poor. It's not good enough. It's money down the drain. And look, that brings me on to recruitment. But that is another issue. That's another issue that I'll come to at the end if we have time. And then look, the goal is shocking to concede. It's absolutely shocking. It's a disaster. Like, you have Orion Road. They just let Mane run. Not one of them tracked it. And then you have Davies and Dyer. The reason why Mane was kept on side is because the line wasn't where it should be. It was all disjointed. It was all over the place. And then you have the ball comes across. Then you have Lloris. Like, it's in the 6-yard box. Come and claim it. Yeah. Be a man. I
actually think that Lloris looked like Ian Walker. We're going back to the Ian Walker days with Lloris' performance today. I thought it was absolutely shocking. He did not command his area one bit. The goals, the balls that were going in. He did put a couple of good saves in the first half. I thought the goals that he let in, I mean, he just looked like a schoolboy goal, I have to say. I mean, it's really shocking. I mean, I don't want to scapegoat him, but I thought, he's meant to be a world-class goalie. And, you only have to go back to the Liverpool-Man United game. The next day in the papers, it was saying the Alisson heroics saved United. Yeah. Sorry, Liverpool. The Alisson heroics saved Liverpool. When have you ever seen in a newspaper headline the next day, Lloris heroics saved Spurs? You never see that because he's not that type of goalie. He's not big enough. He doesn't command his area enough. He doesn't have a big enough frame. He doesn't, he doesn't have that presence about him. And that got totally exposed today, I thought. And I don't want to totally scapegoat him because I know he's a good goalie. I know he's served us well. He's reliable. He's one of the better goalies in the league. But I just thought, when you really need him to step up and save you in a big game, he lets you down. He let us down.
But even look at the second goal, straight after half time. He just palms it straight out to Alderweireld. Now he's facing the outfield, so he can see where Trent Alexander-Arnold is. He can see Davies wasn't where he was supposed to be. So in that situation, you use football intelligence, football IQ, and you palm it out for a corner or palm it out wider.
Exactly.
You don't put it straight back into his platform to smash one home. That's inexcusable. Do you know what I mean? And then after that, look, it was a disaster. A lot of people are Winks fanboys. But you have to say today, lads, he was an absolute disaster when he came on. He offered.
He looked like a schoolboy as well. He looked like a schoolboy as well. I don't get this Winks-ophilia that I see. I know Sim's going to be winksing into a sock later tonight, but for me in the big games, I've said it before. I said it on the last show that I came on. When you play Winks in a big game, you hand the midfield over to the other team. and I stand by that. He's not good enough. He doesn't progress the ball quick enough, fast enough, decisively enough. And when he's in that position, just when he picks off the ball off the centre backs, if you don't move the ball quick enough through the midfield, you end up getting contained. You end up going on the back foot. You end up passing it sideways, backwards, going back to Lloris. You end up getting stuck in your first third. If you know what I mean, in terms of thirds.
100%.
And that's exactly what happened today. That's exactly what we saw in that second half today. I don't know why Jose brought him on. What do you think the thinking was with Jose bringing him on?
Look, one thing I do actually want to come on here and do is we can't blame Jose for today. There's no way you can blame Jose for today, okay? At the end of the day, if he brought on Sissoko and this ended up happening, people would say, why didn't you bring on weeks after that a good game against Wickham? He's damned if he does, and he's damned if he doesn't, right? You bring on Lamela today, people say, why didn't you bring on Lucas Moore? Why didn't you bring on Bale earlier? But then if he brought on Bale earlier or Lucas Moore earlier and it didn't work, why didn't you bring on Lamela? He's a scapegoat. It's too easy to scapegoat Mourinho because of his personality. Okay, one thing we need to start doing as a fan base is start looking at the problem, and it's recruitment. It's if you buy Poundland, you get cheap. Everyone knows that, right? You get mistakes. It's as simple as that. You buy cheap, you get players with mistakes. The reason why other teams go into games confident and expecting to win the whole time is because they know they have world-class players that are as well mentally capable as well as physically capable. Do you know what I mean? At the end of the day, our players are not good enough. We have Ferraris up front and Nissan Micros at the back. It's as simple as that.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I totally agree with that. And you've also got to say through the middle with Ndombele, another world-class player on the ball. And he's actually stepped it up a lot off the ball this season, I have to say as well. Højbjerg, I thought he was the best player for us this game. I thought he played really well, especially the first half, and obviously popped up with a goal as well. I thought he was the only one that was really showing a bit of leadership out there. I know Kane went off, and that I don't think he was playing that well anyway. But I thought Højbjerg was probably our best player today. But what I would say though is, do you not think though let's say when we beat Man City, when we beat Arsenal, it was a Mourinho masterclass, right? But when Mourinho loses a game, it's not Mourinho's fault, it's the players. Do you not think there's a little bit of hypocrisy there as well?
No, I'll tell you why. I'll tell you exactly why. Right, so under Pochettino, we played nice football. It only got us so far. Some of these players lost the Champions League final. They lost the League Cup final under Poch. They lost numerous of semi-finals. And when they had the league in their hands, they bottled against Chelsea from a winning position. Okay? So what makes you think we're going to get better out of this crop of players under Mourinho? There comes a point where you have to realise sooner rather than later, because you don't end up like Arsenal, where they kind of realised what the problem was, that it was the players, it wasn't the manager, it was the recruitment. Well, and before we head in the direction they are, we need to nip this early, and we need to start focusing. It's the players. Okay, Mourinho doesn't have his boots, his shin pads on out there and told Dyer and Davies to fuck up the line for the first goal. Okay, then you go on to the second goal. Like you didn't tell him to, like, it's not him that was panned out to Alexander Arnold. Then the third goal, it wasn't him that didn't decide whether he wanted to head or kick the ball and then do neither. That was Roden. Okay, and at the end of the day, like, people want to blame Mourinho, but you can only work with what you have. It's the same players that bottled us under Poch, that are bottling it now under Mourinho anytime we've had a chance to push on. It's the same players. We have to. It's the common denominator between the two teams. They've had two different styles, two different philosophies that have both worked, and it's the players that have bottled it. No one else.
Who instills the bottle into the players?
Look, it's the players. It's the players have to be up for it first and foremost.
Who trains the players day in, day out? Who instills that bottle? Who's training them psychologically and physically every day?
Yeah, look, it's the manager. I completely agree with you. Like, but at the end of the day, like, what you have to realise is the mentality of the players. It's the mentality.
And who instills the mentality? Who's there instilling that mentality day in, day out?
Yeah, the manager is. But the thing is, what you have to understand is they've had two different managers with two different philosophies, two different ways of managing, and they still can't get them to get over the line. Therefore, you have to blame the players. You can't just keep having a go at the manager saying he trains them, this, that, and the other. At the end of the day, it's the players. It's up to them. How many of them players do you like that when you looked at the bench said they can come off the game and change it today? I wasn't confident. I don't think any Spurs fan was. No. The same thing is, how many people went into this game calling for a back five today and then want to blame Mourinho because he started with a back five instead of a back four? But you had the same people who are calling for a back five, right? And then and like, for me, you just have to start blaming the players and the recruitment. Like I said,
so let's go through that. So let's go through that. So you said we've got a Ferrari up front. Okay, so let's say Kane and Son They're in their own world. They're untouchable. They're good. That's fine. Yeah. Ndombele, I think we're all comfortable with the fact that he's at least a first half player, at least a 60-minute player. Okay. Who is the dead wood here? Who do we need to change?
Okay. First and foremost, people get on my back if you want. I know Sim loves him, but at the end of the day, Harry Winks, right? He's not good enough. How many centre midfielders have we bought in that's just come straight in ahead of him? Proves to me he's not good enough. Lamela, there's no way he'd be, with his injury record, would be at a top 6 club for as long as he's been at Tottenham. There's no way Ben Davies would be at a top 6 club for 7 years without nailing down the starting left back position or a starting position in the team whatsoever. Eric Dyer was a fringe player under Poch, right? He's come in under Mourinho. He's got what he's wanted. First team football, he's asked for it. He's let us down. Then you have Aurier. He's not good enough at right back. As much as he has transformed himself this season, he's just not good enough. Like, then you have Lucas. He's not a game changer. He does nothing. Okay, he gave us the hat-trick in the Champions League final. But since then, he hasn't kicked on. He just hasn't kicked on.
Hang on a minute. These players that you've mentioned, only Dyer is the first-team player at the moment out of those 4 you've mentioned.
Well, you'd argue Ben Davies. He's been in and out of the side a hell of a lot. He's been in the side a lot. So you can argue him.
He's not a first-team player ahead of Reguilon. He's only there because Reguilon's injured.
Yeah, but the thing is, then you talk about backup. Like Davies is not even good enough to be a backup. Davies is.
I don't think he is. Let's go with the first 11 today. Okay, so your issue is with the team. Your issue is with Dyer. He, for me, he's untouchable. He's a Mourinho first team player. But the other ones you mentioned, Mora, Lamela, Winks, they are fringe players. So let's take the fringe players away. Where's the and Aurier? Okay, so and you mentioned Aurier as well. So who else? We got Aurier. We got Dyer. Who else out of the first team? You know, the ones that Mourinho plays. You know, the first 11. Who do you think's an issue there?
But see, what I'm going to tell you is the reason there's so many positions. There's some positions that are cemented to play every week, but there's other positions that Jose has to keep rotating because he has to try and get something out of them, and he's not getting any reaction out of any of them. Okay, the thing is with Lucas and Lamela, like, how many chances do you have to give them? Like, one of them should have cemented down that right spot. Bergwijn as well. He's just not, like, he hasn't kicked on this year. He just hasn't.
No,
there's something wrong with the guy. And the thing is, like, like, we don't have a starting 11. What we have is a starting 5 or 6, and the rest are fill-ins.
Absolutely. I totally agree. I think half our teams are Ferrari, half our teams are, what do you say, Nissan Micra. It's such a shame because I think if there was going to be a year where all the other teams were, flagging and we had a chance to really, nick it like we did that season with Leicester winning the league, it was going to be this season. And the players we've got and the experience that we've got, Mourinho had that transfer window that he wanted and he needed, and he got the players in. And I just think we've really let ourselves down this season. You know, it's literally like a topsy-turvy team where we've got such brilliant players up front. You've got Ndombele, you've got Højbjerg, that's been brilliant. You've got a good goalkeeper. Toby, he's not playing Toby at the moment, which I don't understand. Dyer looks brilliant for 80 minutes, and then he'll have a couple of massive clangers in him, which will give a goal away. He's already cost us 8 points this season, if you really look at it carefully. The Newcastle game, potentially the Liverpool game when he just fell over and didn't bother getting up, and also a game recently, I think it was the Fulham game, didn't track the header. Even against Arsenal, people don't even realise this. If you look when the cross comes in, and I can't remember what's the name of the striker, not Aubameyang, the other one.
Lacazette.
Lacazette. He has a free header, and that header was exactly the same from exactly the same position that the Fulham player scored from. He let that one in, so luckily Lacazette headed over the bar. He's not tracking the flight of the ball. Dyer will cost you so many points every single season, but because he looks very strong for 89 minutes of the game, Mourinho seems to keep playing him, and it's just really frustrating. So we've got issues there, haven't we? But David, listen, mate, we've talked for much longer than I was expecting. But you had a lot to say, mate. Very passionate. I really appreciate your comments there, mate. Hopefully, we can turn things around next game, show a little bit of a better response, and find any final words. What do you think we can change for the next game?
Look, we just pick ourselves up. We go again. All it is a bump in the road. One thing I do want to say before we leave. Look at Højbjerg's reaction to his goal. He just wanted the ball straight out of the net to go back at Liverpool. Harry Winks wanted to come over and give him a high five. You're 2-1 down. You're embarrassing yourself, and you want to give him a high five. Like, what I would say to you, John, is how many players actually care and dream, and 3 points means absolutely everything to them. How many players can you say that all they want out of every game is 3 points, and how many players are happy to run around just to get a few minutes and just to be playing football? I want winners. I want more people like
I would actually say probably only Højbjerg, if I'm really being honest, you know. Maybe Harry Kane when he's really up for it, but you know, maybe Lloris. But apart from that, yeah, you're right. You can't really look at them in the eyes and say you really want it. You'd actually sweat blood for this game, for the 3 points. You're right.
Yeah, you wouldn't.
That's the mentality.
For the 3 points.
Yeah, that's absolutely right. So hopefully that message, David, can be something that can be trickled down into the players, and hopefully they can show a little bit more sweat, blood, and tears for the next game. Okay, mate. Cheers. The Irish Hotspur. Please check out his channel, everyone. He's a dedicated Spurs fan. He might look like a Mexican wearing a sombrero in the background, but that's just his flag in the background. And he's regular on the show, and we do appreciate him. So, all right, David, take care, my friend, and we'll see you on the next fan show, I'm sure. All right, brother.
Yeah, see you, John. Thanks very much, and I'll see you.
Take care, mate.